As I told you guys in the last video, and it's been a little bit since the last video, but I told you guys that I wanted to wait till a few things accumulated before I did a video. That's why we did so many things in the last one. And with Ilya Mikheyev signing a little ways back, I wanted to wait probably until Dermott signed. And that is exactly what happened today. Is the Leafs have re-signed Travis Dermott to a 1-year contract and Ilya Mikheyev to a 2-year deal. Now, let's break these two things down. Number one, let's focus in on the Mikheyev signing for a few reasons. Number one, the Leafs got him cheap. And you got him for 2 years. Not just a 1-year prove-him deal, kind of like what Travis Dermott got. He got a 2-year contract. So for the Leafs, they got a guy like Mikheyev, a fan favorite Mikheyev, and a great hockey player for 2 years at a really nice cap hit. So that's very, very nice to see for Ilya Mikheyev and the Toronto Maple Leafs. He ended up signing a 2-year, $1.645 million contract, AAV, average annual value. And that just over $1.5 million for a very, very good player. Ilya Mikheyev last year for the Toronto Maple Leafs had, where are we? I'm going to bring him up here, guys, to give you the exact numbers of what he had this past year. 23 points in 39 games. Now, he got injured and came back in the playoffs, but it's so hard to kind of rev it up there at the end, especially when you weren't playing before COVID. It's kind of difficult. But 23 points in 39 games. He did immensely good, tons of good things for this team this past year. So to bring him back on a 2-year contract, team friendly, is incredible. Now, these are quotes from his agent. Ilya decided to step off a little bit from an already agreed number to help the team fit under the cap. So basically what that means is that they went to arbitration and they got given a number, and then Mikheyev's like, no, I don't want to handicap this team. I'm going to go lower. Holy smokes. You got to love it. He also go on to say for Ilya, it was less about the money, but more about the role in the organization. He wishes to win the Stanley Cup. It's been a lifelong dream. I mean, we already loved Mikheyev enough. With the way he went about this contract, we love him even more. Ilya Mikheyev, fan favorite for this team, no doubt. And with the contract, looks good. I love the deal for Mikheyev. He did nothing but great things for this team last year. And fantastic stuff. Because initially, they went into arbitration looking for a 1-year, $2.7 million deal. The Leafs, obviously going to lowball it. They went for 2 years at $1 million. You're not going to get either of that. But usually, the arbitration kind of finds it in the middle. Now, I don't know what the number was that they were going to finalize, but the fact that he brought it down to $1.6 million is incredible, and I can't wait. I can't wait to see Mikheyev out there for a couple more years with this team at least, and I love seeing him out there. Now, and what that does, that just adds more depth to this forward core, right? We talked in the last video about all the forwards this team has, even with losing Andreas Johnsson, and Kasperi Kapanen, you still have extremely good forward depth. You obviously have Mikheyev on that third line. You bring in a Nick Robertson. You have Alex Kerfoot. There's your third line. Does it look bad? No, not at all. And then you have all these grizzled vets. You can slap on the fourth line or flip them on the third line if things aren't working or whatnot. The amount of options this team has on the forward core is incredible. And bringing in Mikheyev back for 2 more years, it does so much for this team and for the organization. Now, let's get to Travis Dermott, because as we talked about in the last video, the defense has got a kind of a big overhaul this year. You lost Ceci, you lost Barry, you bring in TJ Brody, Zach Bogosian. You obviously bring in, I forgot about Wayne Simmons in that forward depth as well. You bring in some veterans who have been around, Brody and Bogosian, right? And now you've re-signed Travis Dermott to a 1-year contract, $874 million. Whoa, that's a lot of money there, Dermott. $874,000 on the 1-year contract. Basically, a prove him type of deal, right? And it makes sense. And also the Leafs don't really have much money to play with right now anyway, so bringing him back on a 1-year contract of less than $1 million is nice. It's a very team-friendly contract again, and from a Toronto boy, Travis Dermott, it doesn't surprise me that kind of thing happened. But now I look at the D-core for this Toronto Maple Leafs team, and look, I understand they may not have that number one guy. They have a Morgan Rielly, but they don't have a solid number two, right? You don't have that number two guy right beside Rielly. Look, Brody's great. Is he a number two on a Stanley Cup champion team? I don't know. Honestly, I haven't seen enough of TJ Brody to be able to say anything about that. But listen to this now, right? Listen to this D-core. You have Zach Bogosian, who's going to be in the bottom six. You got Brody. You have Dermott. You have Justin Holl. We keep forgetting about him. He'll probably be in that bottom six as well. Maybe top four. But again, is he really a top four defenseman? That's always been the question, and I personally don't believe so. But again, who else do they have? Well, they have Dermott, who can play on the right side, right? Can you imagine having Justin Holl up in the press box, as bad as that sounds, the way he played last year and how much he played last year? You have that extra piece. You have a TJ Brody, Travis Dermott on the right side, because that's what he's been playing. That's where he is going to play on the right side as a left shot. Then you have a Zach Bogosian in your third pair. Instantly, your right side doesn't look half bad, right? And then we go to the left side. You talked about, let's go to this. You obviously have Timothy Liljegren, who is a guy that we're all kind of still waiting on, looking to continue to grow. He had a better year last year with the Toronto Marlies, obviously for what they had. Again, I don't know what that year is going to look like for them, so it's going to be interesting to see how his growth continues. Oh, yeah, Jake Muzzin, right? Morgan Rielly, and Rasmus Sandin. So you look at the way this team is. I did not bring up Martin Marincin's name for a reason. I do not want to see that guy in a Leafs uniform this year. I'd prefer Calle Rosen over a Martin Marincin at this point. But all I'm trying to get at here, guys, is that, look, last year's D-core was awful. You had Morgan Rielly with Cody Ceci. That in itself makes me want to throw up. But I look at this D-core now with all the acquisitions and the re-signing of Travis Dermott and the letting of Barry go and the letting of Ceci go. And I'm like, it doesn't look bad. Now, it's on paper, of course. You never know how something's going to work out in a game situation. But on paper, the D-core doesn't look that bad. Now, would I be opposed for them to trade another forward for a defenseman? No, I would not be opposed at all. There are still some defensemen out there in free agency right now. Do I still see them moving money to make room maybe for another defenseman? It's quite possible. But the way that I look at this team right now, it looks pretty good. I gotta say, Kyle Dubas, as much as people rip him apart for the signings of Tavares and Nylander's contract and then Marner Matthews, the big money up front, you gotta give credit where credit is due. And people can hate me for it all you want. But Kyle Dubas has done an impeccable job this offseason, kind of molding things and turning things into a half-decent team. Did you have to make some tough decisions on trading a guy like Andreas Johnsson and Kasperi Kapanen? Yeah, you did. You got a Joey Anderson as well. Like, again, another depth forward that you can use. He made some tough choices. You didn't really get much out of those two trades. It's unfortunate, but, well, you got the first-round pick from Kapanen, which turned into Amarov, so that's not too shabby, I guess. Right, but you also look at the signings that he did, right? The TJ Brody signing. You got him for long term at, like, not a terrible cap hit. I mean, I looked at it initially, and I'm like, because you guys can go back to that Brody signing video, and I was kind of like, ooh, that's a little much. But I look at it now, and I'm like, it's not terrible. It really isn't. You bring in a big right-handed defenseman, Zach Bogosian. Yes, please. You bring in Wayne Simmons, muscle in your forward core that can fight and can hit and can score some goals. You bring in Jumbo Joe Thornton. You bring back Jason Spezza. I'm sorry, where has he gone wrong? I mean, if people want to say that he's a terrible GM and fire Dubas, well, tell me why in this offseason specifically that he is supposed to be fired. In this moment, don't come back to me months from now and saying, halfway through next year if things aren't going right, say, this is why you fire him. Well, thanks, Tips. I could have told you that. But for right now, He's done an incredible job this offseason. On paper, this Leaf team doesn't look half bad. It's the first time in a long time I'm able to say that the D-core does not look like a liability. And it's exciting. The question is, how's it going to transform into game time? And that's always the big question mark. Now, we obviously hear that New Year's is kind of, I think it was New Year's kind of thing, that Gary Bettman was saying on draft night that's the hope for the start of the season. If that happens, great. But guys, we still have 2 months to get through. Like, I'm having a tough time without sports here, people. I really am. Basketball, they're trying for December 22nd start, so that's going to be interesting, but I don't know if that's going to end up happening or not. And how they're going to play it out, I have no idea. But for hockey, guys, look on paper and look at this Leaf team. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below. What are your thoughts on this new look Toronto Maple Leafs squad? I mean, obviously, still more or less the same with Riley and Anderson and Muzzin and the big six, forward core that we got right now. But everything else has kind of jumbled up and changed. What are your thoughts? Let me know, guys, in the comments below what your thoughts were on the 2 signings, of course, with Mikheyev and Travis Dermott. Do you like the signings? Do you not like the signings? Let me know either way. Let me know why, of course, because I'm not going to say, I don't like the signing. Well, why? Let me know, guys, in the comments below, all right? So you know what? That is going to do it for this one. If you enjoyed the video and you like the 2 signings for the Toronto Maple Leafs, smack the like button to appreciate that. Hit the subscribe button if you guys have not already. Comment down below your thoughts on the video, your thoughts on the signings, everything, guys, towards this team, the upcoming season. Let me know in the comments below what your thoughts are on this team moving forward. All right, and Twitter is down below for myself, guys. Follow up, send me a DM, do all that great stuff. Also, the Instagram link is down in the description, so follow up there if you've not done so already. And I will talk to you guys, heck, at some point, Leafs Edition. I haven't said Jays or Raptors because they're not doing anything right now. But as for the Toronto Maple Leafs, they're going guns a-blazing right now. The question now is, what's Kyle Dubas' next move? Or does he have a next move? Let me know, guys, in the comments below what your thoughts are. I think he still has to clear up a little bit of cap, so I don't know how he's going to do that. But we'll have to see moving forward how that happens. What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments below, all right? So thank you guys so much for listening and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. Talk to you guys then.